Chag Sameach. At my family's Passover Seder, when I was about 10 years old, I got up with all the kids to open the door for Elijah, as we did every year. But that year, when we swung the door open, we were startled to see a man standing there. He was wearing a dark trench coat, an old tallis, and a fake white beard. It was my Zadei. He had excused himself from the table a few minutes before, put on this costume, what he imagined Elijah would look like, quietly let himself out of the house, and waited by the front door to be welcomed in as Elijah. He walked in, and the room erupted in laughter. As was my Zadei's style, he had a whole shtick prepared. He spoke in an Eastern European accent, again, his own imagining of Elijah, and delivered a speech about being welcomed into the houses of all the Jewish people that night. The next year, we were ready to welcome Elijah again. Though we weren't startled to see him at the door the second year, we were even more excited to see this one-of-a-kind character at his annual appearance. Each year, the shtick grew. My Zadei began writing out his Elijah speeches in advance, always delivered in accent. We began teasing him about how much of the wine in Elijah's cup he could drink before going on to the next house, and how he bore an uncanny resemblance to our Zadei, who somehow always missed Elijah's annual visit. It became a highlight of the Seder for my family year after year. This past December, my Zadei passed away. As Passover approached, the question that was on all of our minds finally came up. What will we do for Elijah now? Will someone pick up the tradition? Will we use the moment to remember my Zadei? Or would it just be too sad? Perhaps it would be better to rush through the Elijah portion of the Seder quickly and not dwell on our grief. It's a question lots of families have asked themselves, perhaps not specifically about an eccentric old man walking into a Seder dressed as Elijah, but about whether and how we pick up the traditions of our loved ones who have left this world. Whether we are willing to endure the sadness that is inevitably involved in keeping our loved ones' memories alive. This balancing act of preserving memory, even when tinged with sadness, and even during what should be a joyous time, is something we Jews excel at. For better or for worse, our happiest times always include memories of the past, often painful memories of the past. At weddings, the most joyous of occasions, we don't conclude the ceremony until we've broken a glass, reminding ourselves of the tragedies that have befallen the Jewish people, especially the destruction of the temple. Breaking the glass is about remembering communal history, so we often use heirlooms at weddings to bring memories of our own personal loved ones into the room. A grandmother's Kiddush cup, a grandfather's talit, an aunt's special candlesticks. Even at the absolute height of joy, a wedding, we need our moments of brokenness and memory. A lesser-known example happens at our Seder table. Our very first interaction with matzah is not eating it, nor saying a blessing over it, nor hiding it or finding it as the afikomen. Our very first interaction with matzah is breaking it, yachatz, an early step in the order of the Seder, where we take the middle matzah and break it. Rabbi Sue Fendrick suggests that yachatz is a parallel ritual to the breaking of the glass at a wedding. Keep in mind, the entire Passover Seder was a rabbinic invention after the temple was destroyed, when Jews had to figure out how to go on celebrating this holiday without a place to bring their sacrifices. So it makes sense that they would incorporate a moment of brokenness, a moment to remember the destruction of the temple, a painful memory in the not too distant past, a moment for grief. Even during this joyous holiday, a time when we celebrate and appreciate our freedom, we pause to break the matzah, to remember. In thinking about incorporating memory into our festive occasions, perhaps the most obvious is the reason we are all here right now, Yizkor. On our holidays, Sukkot, Shavuot, and today on Passover, we take a moment for Yizkor. These are meant to be happy days, joyous holidays, and yet we pause to remember. We don't shy away from the memories of the past, even when they bring us sorrow. We embrace them. We honor the memory of our loved ones no longer with us, even on the days when we want to be purely happy. That is the Jewish way. So this year, at my family's Seder, we opened the door for Elijah and let the quiet of night in. My Zadei's absence was felt. We didn't rush past the moment or gloss over it. We let it wash over us. It was emotional and full of sweet memories of the past. The loss is still raw. This year's Seder was akin to a fresh tear in a mourner's garment, not yet sewn back together. But next year, perhaps the tear will be sewn, not seamlessly healed and forgotten, not to look exactly as it did before, but sewn together anew, with our loss woven into the fabric of who we are. And when we are ready, we will pick up the mantle. The next generation will rise to the challenge. There will come a day in my family's Seders of the future when we will open the door for Elijah, and someone, honoring my Zadei's memory, but also in their own unique way, will walk through the door. And when they do, it will be sad, and it will also be so happy. Is there anything more Jewish than that? Like the garments of a mourner torn and sewn back together with each loved one passed away, our losses are part of who we are. Even on our happiest of occasions, weddings, Passover Seders, holidays, we don't gloss over the sadness of memory. As we prepare now to begin the Yizkor service, I invite you to really let yourself feel the memories. Sink into them. I will too, as I remember all of my grandparents, including my family's own personal Elijah. Chag Sameach.
Thank you for joining the Park Avenue Synagogue family. I hope you enjoyed the sermon. Please consider supporting our online community by scanning the QR code or by going to supportpas.org or by making a donation. Shalom and see you in shul.